Turner Show with your favorite Kentucky point guard, Wayne Turner. Before we get into today's episode with the one and only John Calipari, I did want to let you guys know a little bit about the Field of 68 Media Network, of which the Bruiser Turner Show is a part of. This is a podcast network that I am the owner and the founder of, along with my partner, Jeff Goodman. We launched this network last week, and it features a number of different shows across all spectrums of college basketball. Jeff hosts a national podcast and a national show with ESPN commentator and former Purdue All-American Robbie Hummel. I host my own national show with, well, I can't let you in on that secret just yet. You better tune into my podcast and my show on Wednesday, and you will find out. We have Tim Miles hosting a show where he interviews coaches, where he interviews former players, where he basically just interviews whoever he wants. It's Tim Miles. He's a little bit out there. We just kind of let him do his own thing. It's called The Mind of Miles. You never want to get inside the mind of Miles. We also have shows on the Louisville Cardinals, on the Indiana Hoosiers, on all of the biggest college basketball programs in the country. So if you're interested in following along with those and in learning what's going on with your biggest rivals, we can tell you that as well. So please leave 5 stars, say something nice about Wayne in the comments if you do enjoy this podcast, and then go and find the rest of the shows on our network. I promise you are not going to be disappointed. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of really, really good content coming up this week. So please tune in, share, subscribe, rate, review, do all of those things that make us happy as podcasters. Now let's get into that interview. Wayne Turner with John Calipari.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you definitely coming. This is my very first podcast, Coach, and this is just this is amazing to have you on here. I mean, wow.
How about when I tried to recruit you, you told me no? How about that one? And I still came on. I still come on for you.
I was gonna say, let's go back to those days, Coach. Let's go back when you came down to little old Beaver Country Day to see me. I mean, wow. If you was at Kentucky then, would you still have recruited me? I mean,
no way.
These guys?
No. You had no chance. No, you know, Wayne, what you always were and what I looked for at UMass were competitors. You know, if guys would compete, I would love coaching them. Prima donnas or cool breeze, I can't coach those dudes. You know it. You were here with me. I mean, I just need guys that'll fight and battle. You can make mistakes. You can make shots, miss shots. I mean, but it's effort stuff that you're there to get better. You're there to make the team better. And you were always that guy. You know, for what you did, where you started, and think about it. You end up at the University of Kentucky. Think about that. And you had a hell of a career now. They still remember you here. And when I first took the job, you and Scott Padgett were with me. Like, we put you in there and said, all right, help us. Let us know how we're doing this stuff.
And I definitely appreciate that, Coach. I definitely appreciate that. Just for the record, Bruiser Flint was one of my favorite recruiters. I love that guy. He was the realest recruiter that, recruited me. And you know how much I liked you guys. Obviously, you was in the battle, but I definitely enjoyed you guys' recruitment because you were real. Do you remember when you first got to UK, like how that was for you? Like, because I know for you, I just felt like for you, in my opinion, from my eyes as a player, that you recruited, you were a great coach. Even though you were young, I still saw greatness in you. Is why I showed up to all those games.
Well, so, you know, when you talk, first of all, Bruiser Flint is with me now. He's back on the staff. The problem is, I kind of look my age. He looks like he did when he recruited you. That bothers me a little bit. Still, just like he was, positive, upbeat, brings people together, creates great relationships with the players and the recruits. I'm so happy he's back with us and with me, and we're working together. I can remember when I took this job, you understand, I had a pretty good thing going at Memphis. Derrick Rose and, Tyreek Evans and Chris Douglas Roberts. I just got a note from Chris Douglas today. Matter of fact, I was on the phone with Lou Rowe about 30 minutes ago. So, but
Wow.
when I took this job and I walked in, Coach Hall was in here. And I did my first workout. I didn't have any assistant coaches, I had managers and me. And I went back in the locker room and I sat down and I had my head in my hands like, what did I just do? I mean, you understand now, we were top 5, top 10 for 5 straight years. And I knew
Giant killers. Giant killers.
And then I knew we would be expected to be at another level. But Coach Hall walked in and said, Coach, it is going to be fine. And then all of a sudden you bring in a group of guys. Patrick Patterson decides to stay. Eric Bledsoe, John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, all of a sudden we still have Darius Miller, DeAndre Liggins. I mean, we had guys, Perry Stevenson. I mean, we had guys, and all of a sudden we put a young group and the veteran group. We became a pretty good team. No execution, but we were big, we were fast, we were athletic. They were smart players, but we weren't an execution team. We had to bowl you over. It was going to be hard for us.
Wow. No, that was my favorite team. I love that team. I actually got to play pickup against Eric and John a couple of times, and they showed me that I was old. So, but no, I
Ramon was on that team. I mean, we had a good group. It was a good group. The only thing, our Achilles heel, and I knew it, I said it all year, we weren't a great shooting team. We could be streaky. And we hit a spell in the NCAA tournament where we couldn't make a jump shot. And when you're in that, it makes your defense look bad, makes your offense look bad. I think we missed 22 straight threes. I don't know how you do that. I don't know if that's possible to miss 20, but we did. And that's what ended our season.
Well, I'm not the one to talk about 3-pointers. I wasn't the best 3-point shooter.
I didn't want to bring it up. I didn't want to talk about your flaws. I'm trying to get you good stuff.
In college, I wasn't. I would say that. But, moving forward, Coach, what was it? Because I was always curious because I wasn't the only guy you was recruiting, but what was the craziest recruitment that you had to go through with the player?
The best experience I had in recruiting, the best, not even close. We were recruiting Marcus Camby, and Bruiser was recruiting Rasheed Wallace too. So it was us, Carolina, Georgetown, Temple, and UMass for Rasheed. And, they kind of let us in because of Bruiser, and they, but all of a sudden I found out we were getting Marcus Camby. We were getting him. I was able to call Rasheed Wallace and say, you no longer have a scholarship to UMass. And he said, what? You don't have a scholarship here. He said, yeah, we got another guy. Well, he better be good. He was good. He was good. And I still remember it. I'm sitting in his home. Mother was a great lady. Rasheed was great. But, people kind of looked at us as, we were UMass. Who the heck is UMass? I went out west one time, and I'm watching some kids, and that people said, is UMass Division I or Division II? What? The Sweet 16 last year. What the hell are you talking about? So we were battling that most of my time there. But I'll tell you, whether it was Lou Rowe, Tony Barbie, Harper Williams, Derek Kellogg, the Padilla brothers, Tyrone Weeks. I mean, we had some guys now at the end, Dante Bright, Dana Dingle. I mean, you talk about warriors. Wow, you didn't want to play us now. We weren't.
Kellogg.
We got Camby. When we got Camby, we became like top 5. We were top 10, 15 until then.
No, he was tough.
Kentucky with Camby, my last year there, we beat Kentucky by 20 early in the year, and then we lost to them in that Final Four in that game. You remember that game?
Hey, I got 2 points in that game.
Yeah, Tony Delk had 19 shots in that left corner, and he kept making them.
Yeah, well, you changed the whole dynamic of that team when we lost. That things definitely changed the next practice. That was interesting. Who is if, for your team this year? I'm always excited, with your teams every year. I always have a favorite player at the end of the year. But I'm just curious, what guy, I'm always curious what guy is going to be that standout guy because you keep a lot of studs. So I was just wondering, who is the one guy to be the star on your team this year?
I think it's going to play out. I can't tell you right now, but I do have 10 new players. 10. Keon Brooks, who was the only player returning that played, hasn't been practicing and will be out of probably another 3 weeks. So I've got 10 new guys. Of those 10, 2 are transfers in Olivier Sarr, Davion Mintz, and basically the rest are freshmen. So now, who's going to break through? It's one thing to do this stuff in practice. It's another thing to do it in games on national television against a high-level opponent who is older, 3 years older than you. It becomes hard. So I think we're going to have a good team. I mean, 7 foot tall, 6'11", 6'9", 6'9". We're big. Our wings are 6'6", 6'7". I mean, that's our wings. Our point guards, where we can have multiple kind of point guards. Davion and Devin's doing better every game or every practice. And we're scrimmaging tonight for the first time. And I don't have no idea what to expect because I'm trying to let him go, but, only if I can stand it. Like I'm going to tell you, if you guys just think you're going crazy, then we're practicing. So we'll see.
Sounds like a lot of turnovers. But anyway, moving forward. So I got to ask you, there's a kid from Roxbury wearing the number 5. Can he play defense? He's got that number 5.
He's doing well. This is all new to him, and I've been on him because the biggest thing I've got to teach all these kids are about the habits they need to, quote, be professional. Their habits. How you eat, how you sleep, how you recover, how you stretch, how you are on the court. What do those habits look like? Well, not only him, all these kids, it's all new. I'm not trying to break old habits. We try to create new habits. And with him, being more engaged. You never playing like you're playing, it doesn't really matter. No, everything matters. You're being evaluated all the time. If you're capable of being a great defender, be that all the time. I get on because all these guys have these workout guys. Look, just get the ball in the lane. Get the ball. Right now, here's where basketball is. And I started a while ago with dribble drive. Dribble drive was based on getting lane touches. The whole game now is lane touches. You stopping me from getting in the lane as I work really hard to get in the lane, which creates rotations, easier shots, closeouts that you can't really cover. It leads to lobs, open three, lane touches. Well, he is used to this way and that way and no, boom, in that lane. You don't need all that. Like I tell him, you act like you're picking up a tennis ball, putting it down, hitting the softball, sitting down on the ball, and then shooting it. That's your workout guy. No, catch the ball, get in that lane. The first 2 weeks when he couldn't make, Terrence Clark couldn't make a layup. No, I'm serious. And you know me because you watch me. I'm not sarcastic. It's just that he missed another one. Did he miss another layup? Is that his 5th layup he's missed? To where then he wouldn't take him. Oh, stop. Whoop. All right. So now because he missed 5 layups, this ain't like me thinking this. I'm saying this in front of the team. Now he's settling for a jump shot because he don't want to drive in there and miss another layup. So I'm like, and he's like, I can't take this. No kidding. You got to change. These are all new things. But he is talented. He's a good kid. But he's never been in this kind of environment where he's held accountable all the time.
Wow, that's awesome. I actually coached against Terrence when he was in the 4th grade.
Wow.
And I had to trap him. So I knew he was going to be a good player. I'm very proud of him being from Roxbury. Definitely going to Kentucky makes me happy. Everybody loves him back home. But getting back to you, you said that you wasn't going to coach past 70.
Past
Now,
70. Initially I said 60. I said, I'll be stunned if I'm still coaching at age 60. So now, like we got guys in our profession that are coaching in their mid 70s.
yes.
I mean, I hate to tell you, these kids are still 18 and 19. They're not going to be 30. And so it gets harder and harder to do it. But if I had the stamina and the energy, but I got to do this the way I do it. I'm not going to cheat the position or cheat the kids by not being passionate, not being excited about it, having the courage to teach and not worry about who I'm teaching to. I coached in the NBA, so none of these guys, I'm not intimidated by anybody, and I'm going to keep it real and tell them the truth. Bottom line is, there's 2 words I use: fight or flight. You're going to fight or you're going to run, one of the 2. And if you run or you choose to be in the back, I'm okay with that. But when you throw a bone in a pack of dogs, one eats. Are you going to be that guy? Well, you got to be a dog. You got to go take what you want. You got to stick your nose in there. You can't wait for things. What do you think? The other dog's going to give you the bone? Here, eat some of this. No, you go near his bone. He's, yeah. I mean, all this stuff that we're trying to teach is all about creating habits, professional habits.
Absolutely. I totally agree about that. And, I've been in there, so I know what you do, Coach. But moving forward, Tyler Hero is probably one of my favorite players you've coached. I loved him last year. But obviously him, Bam, and Booker, like, it's just surprising to me that they weren't like the stars on those teams. But in the NBA, they're like amazing. They've had a great, well, Booker's off the charts. But Bam and Hero definitely look like they belonged in the NBA for a long time. I mean, why is that guys like that go to the NBA and then excel? I mean, it just amazes me.
Well, first of all, they have the talent to do it, okay? But if you're a prima donna or you think you're going to be casual up in that league, you're out of your mind. The second thing I say in all this stuff, you got to be on a team with other really good players and figure out, where do I fit in this? How do I create my own opportunities? How do I fight for what I want? How do I take what I want? How do I share and learn to be a great teammate? And Wayne, here, numbers don't matter. Carl Town averaged 13 points a game, and he was the number 1 pick. I believe Anthony averaged 14, and he was the number 1 pick in the draft. We've had lottery picks who averaged under 10 a game. Can you play? Will you fight? Do you have it? The thing about Miami, for those 2 guys, same kind of culture. It's about individual development. It's about competing. It's about being a dog. It's about being in a fight, knowing that we're going to spend time at this. You're not going to Miami. You may have an 8-hour day at Miami. Well, I'm not doing that. I'm a pro. I come and go. You ain't making it there. You got to know that we're going to work on all these things and you're going to get better. So those guys, but you also have De'Aaron Fox. I mentioned Carl. How about Jamal Murray? You want to act like, well, Jamal Murray, come on now. Here's a guy, when he got his contract, he calls me and he said, can you believe I got a max deal? I go, yeah. You know the ways you can score the basketball? They're going to pay for that. You score it every way possible. I'm looking at our guys now and I'm saying Tyrese Maxey is the same. look, Wayne, there's two ways of doing this as we coach. One is you teach a system and you fit into what we do. And every drill goes to what the offense. What we try to do, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. What we're doing here is teaching young people how to play the game. So how do you play? How do you play in partners? How do you play with three? How do you cover for each other? Teaching them how to play versus how to play a system. Because when they go to that league, you don't know where you're going. Well, he's got to be on the ball. You ready, Wayne? All right. When you go to the Lakers, you're going to be on the ball, or is LeBron going to be on the ball? All right. You go to Houston, you're going to be on the ball, or is Harden going to be on the ball? Nah, maybe you take it from one of the best to be playing right now. So you got to be able to play like Shea Alexander. You didn't even bring him up. Didn't start his first 10 games for us. And then all of a sudden, he's a lottery pick. All of a sudden, he's going to be an all-star. He played with Chris Paul on the ball some, off the ball some. So we're teaching them how to play. You're not just going to come in. Like if someone says to me, well, he's got to take 28 shots a game. Is he coming here, Wayne? How about, well, everything's got to go through him. He's got to have the ball in his hands the whole time. You're not coming here. Like our bigs are taught, start like a guard, finish like a big. You're not taught like you're a five-man. How many post back to the basket plays did you see in the bubble? Where I just went in the post. Did you see any? Or is it 5 out, bigs passing? What? So what am I going to teach? A system where the guy's got his back to the basket? Now, the recruiting stuff, they'll go show them every time my big set a screen. They refuse to show how I played Anthony, how I played Carl out on the floor at the top of the key. Well, look, you set screen. Yeah, you're going to learn to set a screen. This is the game of basketball. But you can be taught how to play. And so, I'm proud of our guys up there. We got like 40 guys, 30 playing. How many are the guy on their team? Like 15 of them? Really? And I'm not even counting Anthony because he and LeBron are sharing it, but you throw Anthony, one of the top 2 or 3 or 4 players in the world, and you go right down the line. You got guys trying to bust through. How about Keldon Johnson? How about Hamidou Diallo? All trying to break through to another level. We're talking Tyler and Bam and De'Aaron and, how about PJ Washington? I mean, wait a minute. Big guys, point guards, wing guard. We're teaching you how to play.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Coach. Well, I know you got practice.
One more thing, because we got to close this down because I got to go to practice.
I know. Well, Coach, I'm going to leave you with this. And, this is the whole point of me even, getting you on the call. I really, really appreciated you helping me get back in school. That was very important for me. When you took that job, I was all excited. I was like, well, I know this guy a little bit, but, I hadn't spoke to him in years. But when I called you, you called me right back. That was amazing. I mean, that meant so much to me. And I told you what I was trying to do. And you helped me back, got me back in those classes. Then the next year, you invited me into your program, which was even more of a dream for me and experience. And I never personally got to thank you for that. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for helping me do that. It meant so much to me. It meant so much to my grandmother. And, I'll never forget you helping me with that, Coach.
Well, I appreciate you, Wayne. You have been great to us and me in this program. And at the very least, we owed you something like that.
Thanks.
We appreciate you, man. And thanks for having me on.
Thank you.